ShowMeTheCurry.com. I'm Hital.
I'm Anuja, and today we're going to make a recipe from the Malabar region of India. We're going to be making a curry, a chicken curry, which is awesome, and it comes from that region. It's called the name is Malabar Chicken, as you guessed it. And this recipe was inspired by Maria from mariasmenu.com. Go check out her website. She's got these awesome recipes from the state of Kerala. So let's get this one started. Just time to try it out. It's 2 tablespoons of oil and they're already hot. We have sliced a quarter of an onion very fine. Now it's very important to do that. Slice it very fine, and we're going to just open it up and put it in the oil.
And this recipe also uses curry patta or curry leaves, and voila. So use as much as your poor plant can afford to lose. But a good handful of curry leaves are needed.
Yeah. And you of course wash them. So the flavor of the curry leaves is fantastic. So
Is that good?
a little bit more, since we've killed that whole plant. Alright, let's keep the rest of it for the seasoning or the tadka on top.
It smells wonderful. Fresh curry patta, awesome.
The onions are kind of translucent. We are going to add in
3 tablespoons of whole coriander seeds. And we have about 5, you can use 4 to 5 red chilies, dry red chilies. And of course it's to taste, but we're going to break them and put them in.
And these are very mild red chilies that we have. This particular cuisine is actually very spicy, and she has of course recommended that we put a lot more. We have just chosen not to overdo it this time. But we're just going to stick to this and let it cook for another couple of minutes.
And after it's been cooking for just about a minute or 2, we have 6 large garlic cloves that we've chopped up. And here's 1 tablespoon of minced ginger.
And mix. Now we're going to cook this until it's actually cooked really well. The onions need to be a little caramelized, and the ginger garlic will be very well cooked. And so basically what we're going to do is, after this, once this is really well cooked, you're just going to add in some coconut, give it a toast a little bit, and then grind it. So you just want the flavor to be there, and so you just make sure you have the patience and just cook it all the way through. Okay, this took a little while, but it's done. Look at it. It looks fantastic. You can tell it's cooked.
It's kind of like dried out, but it's not burnt, so that's what you're looking for.
Right. And to this we're going to add the coconut.
This is about 1/3 of a cup of shredded coconut.
We're just going to cook it till the coconut also gets a little color. Okay, this looks good. We're going to turn off the stove and allow it to cool down, and then we're going to blend it.
So we're going to transfer this mixture into another plate, and this way it has time to cool down, and we can continue on with our other process.
So in the same pan we've got 1 tablespoon of oil, and it's heating up.
And for this entire recipe we've used 1 large onion. We used 1/4 of that large onion for that masala that we just made. And for this part we're going to use half of it, and then we have another 1/4 that's left over we're going to use at the end for our seasoning. So here goes half of the onion, large onion.
It's sliced very fine.
Very fine.
Yeah, and you have to open it up. Alright.
And we also have some green chilies that we've slipped on one side. And this is to taste. You can add how many ever you want. We're going to add about 6 of them. And we're going to salt this a little bit to help it cook faster.
Now we're going to cook the onions till they get a little color and turn a little brown. Not burnt, but brown. So the onions look done. They look fabulous. They're got a beautiful color, but they're not burnt. So we're ready for the tomatoes.
These are 2 medium tomatoes, again sliced. Just half teaspoon of turmeric powder and a little salt.
And mix. And you're going to cook this so the tomatoes are really, really soft and cooked all the way through.
So while that's cooking, the masala that we worked on previously is cooled down, and we have a little grinder here. We're going to grind this masala. And we have about a cup of water here. We may or may not need all of this water to grind, and depending on what your grinder is like, it takes more or less water. But we're going to add a little at a time and start to grind it.
Especially when you have to make a fine paste, it's not a good idea to put all the water at the same time, at one time, because it does not, it's harder to break up the seeds and those green, the red chilies.
Okay, this is like a nice fine paste, and we did eventually use the full cup of water to grind.
So over here the tomatoes are done, and they've pretty much integrated and cooked. And I actually reduced the heat a little bit because it was getting done too fast and the blending was taking a while. So it's still on low, so we're going to go ahead and add it. Especially if you have it on high and you put this in, it's just going to splash all over. So just a word of caution.
We're going to take just a little bit of extra water also just to clean this up.
Oh, it looks so good and it smells heavenly.
That fresh coriander seeds are just amazing.
Okay, now that it's mixed in, I'm going to increase the heat a little bit, allow the masala to come to a boil now.
So this is an incredible recipe from Maria's menu. But whenever you find a recipe, and we also encourage this for all of our recipes, is that tailor it to your taste. We show you the guidelines, and you can change it around, and you may like something, you may not like something. So that's what we've done with this recipe. We've tailored it to our taste, and so far so good. It's looking delicious.
And actually at this point you can even taste the masala a little bit and see if it's okay. It needs to be a little on the saltier side because we're going to add in the chicken, and once you add in the chicken and till the chicken is cooked and the water and everything, you cannot taste it. So you want the chicken to absorb some of the salt. So we would suggest you taste it at this point and then decide. But the masala is looking fabulous. Alright, and we are ready for the chicken. Now we have chosen to use boneless, skinless thighs, and we cut them to bite-sized pieces. And we like a little extra masala, so this is looking really good. We're going to allow the chicken to seal, and then we can add in the water as needed.
So we have our stove on high right now. And basically you're looking for the chicken to change color. It turns a little bit on the white side instead of pink. And when that happens, we can add some water, mix it, and cover. But right now, it's going to cook open.
So the chicken looks done. Look at it. It's white. You can tell. And we are going to now add in the amount of water that we want. So you can actually carry on like this until the chicken cooks, or you can add a little bit of water and decide how much gravy you want.
We're going to use about 1 cup. So once it's mixed in really well, we've reduced the flame again to medium, and we're going to cover it and we're going to cook it until the chicken is cooked all the way through. And when you poke into it, it should be white all the way through the chicken. Be sure you keep an eye on it and stir it every once in a while. So while the chicken is finishing off, we have a tablespoon of oil heating here in a skillet, and once it's hot we can add our remainder balance of our quarter onion. And we reserved a few of those beautiful curry leaves. Good time to use them now.
Yeah.
And as always, we're going to sprinkle just a little bit of salt to make it cook faster.
And again, we're waiting for the onions to get a little color. You don't want them burnt, but you want them to have a very pretty brown color.
And this looks beautiful.
Turn off the stove there, and so this looks done as well. We're going to turn off the stove here as well. And we're going to serve.
And we'll garnish the top with these beautifully cooked onions. That looks so pretty.
And we're ready to serve. And as Maria says, it's best served with ghee rice. She enjoys it with ghee rice or with rotis or just plain rice. It really, really does look very good. Again, thank you, Maria, for this wonderful recipe, for inspiring us. So check out Maria's blog. It's mariasmenu.com. You can also see it on the screen. And we thank you again.
So join us again on another episode of ShowMeTheCurry.com.
Adding a pinch of spice to your life.